Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to Joy of the Hobby podcast, episode 26, an Essential Credentials production. It is almost the end of January. We are really excited to be here. Obviously, we are here 3 days later than we normally are, and I'm going to let Ben explain that here in just a minute. But we're here. We did it, and hopefully we won't run into any other issues anytime soon. But Ben, really glad that you were able to make it.
Yeah.
Give us a little update, dude. What's going on in your neck of the woods, and how are things going for you now?
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, we're in Nashville here. I was going to say we live in Nashville, but really it's about to not be that soon since we're planning on moving. So the house is in Nashville, but we
Yep.
experienced that big winter storm that came through, and we got the unfortunate band of ice that came through, knocked out our power early Sunday, and it was out for basically like 36 hours. And we feel lucky that we even have it back now. There's still, I think, approximately 100,000 people in the Nashville metro area that still don't have power. So, yeah, this is one of those. We are going to be doing our best this year to do every show on schedule. And of course, January, we had to have an act of God take down my power.
Yep. Well, hey, the first one was on time, so we started off on the right foot. There you go.
Started off on the right foot, and we're not delaying this one a whole week. We're still doing this one on the week we had planned, and we'll be back on schedule for the next one. So,
For sure.
we still wanted to do this because we had put this topic off, and we want to really talk about planning 2026 content, what we're looking to do, what you guys want to see from us, or what you feel is lacking out there in the space. So we just felt this one was important enough that we wanted to do it as soon as I had power and was ready to do the episode.
Well, we're obviously very thankful that you got your power back. Hopefully everybody else that's without power gets it soon. And being in the cold, if you're not prepared, it can be really, really dangerous. So definitely sending a prayer out for everybody there, and hopefully get that power going soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one for us. Hopefully we get some more live viewers. Obviously it's tougher because it's not our normal night. But we do have James in the house. And James, I hope you're going to be here for the whole episode, or at least this first bit, because we're going to talk about a couple of sets that are going to be coming out this year that I know you have some interest in as well as a Mariners fan. And it's even more exciting than the relief pitchers the Mariners have signed, because we're just going big for these no-name guys that are going to help us win the World Series.
Hey,
mark it down now.
Yeah.
And really happy to have Curtis in the house as well. Curtis, looking forward to your feedback. And then speaking of Mariners, the one and only Ray, biggest Ichiro collector that known to man, is here. Great to have you, Ray. We're looking forward to getting some feedback from everybody that's in here so far, and hopefully we get some more people in as the show goes on. Well, Ben, keeping with the theme of what's worked so well for us early on, we like to start off every show talking about what's bringing us joy in the hobby right now. So I'm going to throw it to you. I know that you are really excited about some stuff, and then I'll get to the one thing that I've got here. So what's been bringing you joy lately?
Yeah, I'll make this one short and quick because it is F1 related. So not everybody in here is familiar with F1, but as I was telling Matt earlier, you do have to give flowers or props when they're due for Topps. The Formula One set they did this year, they cut down the production a lot. So it's only 2 SKUs. It's just value and hobby. They released the value a little early. So I bought some early for $30 a box, which feels expensive still coming back from the early days. But the big thing they did this year was up the inserts. They did some really cool stuff. They did the one-of-ones with the diamonds in the cards. So like a throwback to the diamond set from 2011 Topps.
Okay.
So very similar idea there. But the big thing that they did that I think, Matt, you'll appreciate too, was they did all of these different case hits or super short prints.
Nice.
And so none of them are numbered, and they did no parallels except a one-of-one for each of them.
I can understand that. Yeah,
so
that's
nothing numbered but a one-of-one. So you have all these different options of like the stuff we like to get where there's not a bunch of numbered versions of it. It's just super short printed, hard to come by. And the boxes were like loaded. I think we ended up getting 6 for like $30 a piece. And I just pulled out a couple of them, but we got a bunch of cool numbered cards in there. And then I got lucky enough to pull a Max Verstappen, one of those case hits. So like 1 in 240.
Oh, sick, dude.
And
Isn't that harder in the value boxes though? Isn't that much?
What's weird is they're actually the same odds. So I think they kind of messed up the collation there. So it should have been longer odds for the value box, but it made it easier to get. So we got one of those, and they look great. It's a cool design. Like,
beautiful.
I pulled a black auto out of 10 of an F2 guy. So like crazy crazy great boxes, a lot of fun to open. One of those rare cases where like the product looks good, the correlation is great, so you feel like you're like per value box, we were getting 2 to 3 numbered cards and 2 to 3 inserts and 6 packs. So just loaded, like fun to open, and you feel like you got your money back. So it was just a rare product that was fun. We enjoyed it. You know, I can neg Topps a little bit, but this was one that was legit a good product. So props to them for doing something that was good.
Well, and speaking of good news from our competitors, I mean, here I am sitting in my Upper Deck hat talking about this, but I'm a collector and so are you, right? So even if we were both working at Upper Deck, we want to collect cool cards. Right. And we don't have every license. So I got to give a shout out to Topps for, we thought Platinum Anniversary was gone. I think we were sitting here moaning and groaning collectively. And just, you know, being so bummed that it's not coming out. And then it got announced late last week. I texted you way too late and you're like, bro, I'm going to bed, but this is exciting. Yeah. So I just couldn't help it. I'm like, you were the first guy I thought about to tell. So I want to throw it to James specifically, but anybody else that really is a big fan of the anniversary. They're doing Topps Chrome, was it Platinum, and then the year. That, what is it, 56 or something like that? Or
this one, I think they're going to do 55 is what it looked 55. Like to me, but it's 55.
Okay. So the horizontal card, the 2 images. And so, of course, we're drooling just thinking of please Ichiro, A-Rod and the Mariners. Obviously, Julio will be in there, but like Tyler Glasnow would be kind of cool. Haven't collected cards his in a while. So I'm really excited about that. And then the Stadium Club base design, much, much better this year. It looks like more like a Stadium Club, but kind of modern. I think the parallels are going to be great. I'm not happy that Glasnow is not on that checklist, but Julio is, and so I'm very excited to go after a couple of his cards. What about yourself? Is there anything that you saw particularly cool, or are we just going to kind of wait till we get closer to those things coming out?
I mean, I'm so stoked on the design, and we're actually going to have a full base set of horizontal cards. Yeah. I know for some people that's like not attractive. For me, it just gives a different real estate and vibe for the card when it's horizontal. We just haven't had that in a long time, so I'm stoked on just the base design.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, and just like James said here, they solicited the Superfractor Griffey auto, so the cards are built so well to house the auto because there's that area on the bottom already that just kind of works.
That's a big deal for me. It's a huge deal for me to have an auto placement that makes sense and makes the auto stand out. So like, can't be more excited for that.
Oh, well, then this is an interesting fact. Did you know they removed Chrome from it? I didn't know that.
Oh, I did not. Oh, well, I know, they used to do a Stadium Club Chrome as a separate product. Then they put it as an insert in the product.
It needs to be its own product or to get rid of it.
So if they decided to get rid of it entirely and not just insert it into the paper product, fine. We're there for the photography anyway, and the hollow foils and some of the stuff that makes the photography pop. So for sure.
Well, I mean, for me, as a guy that likes to try to get excited about other things, it's great that these things are coming into February, right? Because the pitchers are going to be reporting pitchers and catches into the month, and then you get spring training a couple weeks after that. So I think it's really nice to kind of get hyped and excited about baseball, because typically you don't get a lot of cool baseball releases leading up to the season. You're thinking about Series 1, and that's really all that you have to be excited about. So, well, that's great on Topps Chrome. I will definitely be looking to grab a couple of Landos, and if they've got those Legends cards, hopefully Sebastian Vettel gets in there. I am curious about one thing. I don't know if you know, all the Legend F1 drivers, they don't have their sponsors on their racing suits. And obviously back then there was Marlboro and all these other things. So that's the only thing that's kind of like scrubbing their entire race uniform seems a little crazy. Like for Vettel, he should still have the Red Bull uniform, but he's retired. So I don't know what deal they have with those retired guys.
Yeah, it's a smaller set. We got a couple of the Legends. I'll show you. They were really good about picking photography where the suit doesn't distract you. Like the sun is him popping champagne leaned over with the champagne in front of him. So they did some good photography choices, so it's not distracting. So
I'll definitely look to add one of those Lando case hits. That'll be a goal of mine that will like a collecting goal to kind of add to what we talked about 2 episodes ago. A couple things here. James mentioned that it feels like Chrome that actually took away from the photography. Yeah, and the packs just weren't. I don't know if anybody opened any Stadium Club last year. We obviously checked a few boxes. But it was such a messy, like just sorting all those cards was crazy because you had all the parallels in the Chrome and all the parallels in the paper product, and seeing how many there were, you're like, they must have printed a metric ton of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's a set for people who like the photography, and the second you put it on Chrome, it washes some of the depth of the
Yep.
photo. So it doesn't need to be in there. We're good without it.
Of course, yeah. I'm really, really excited to see how that looks when it comes out for sure. And then, yeah, kudos to Topps for stepping outside the box. Collectors need things to be excited for and different. Yes, absolutely. You know,
Yep.
we gotta give other companies their flowers where they're due. Obviously, we
Yep.
try not to very much. We're always trying to be critical because we
Or
want to choose better. But yeah,
take inspiration of some of the stuff they do and go, you know what? Not a bad idea. Kudos. What can we do that's like competitive to that but different, you know?
since this has been somewhat announced, there's 5 people here. So anybody that watches afterwards, you're about to hear something very few people have heard outside of a few conferences, but it has been talked about on a podcast, so I can talk about it. We are doing a set called Tableau, and that is going to be our high-end photography-driven set. We actually have a set in there done by a photographer, and he's going to sign a few copies of each card. And my guy got in the set, so I'm extremely excited to see how we can do a photo-driven set. Obviously, Flagship is photo-driven, but this is more like a higher-end version. So really excited about that. But what's bringing me joy right now is I finally bought my first like Pelican-style case. Yes, I have one. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. I wanted to get my A-Rods, my graded cards, some random high-end, and then all my Cup Flurry cards in here. And so I was able to do that. It was fun to bring it to work and kind of show people a few cards. But within that, I'm really excited about a card, if you want to call it that, that showed up recently. In the Cup, there are these cards that are booklet cards, and some of them are monumental patches, some of them are monumental pucks. Like there's all these crazy things. But I got, instead of doing printing plates, you've always talked about printing plates being unique and having their own like frame and everything. Well, what we do in the Cup is we put all 4 of them in one booklet and then have the athlete autograph one of the cards. And so this is a 101 printing plate from 22-23 Flagship by Darcy Kemper, and it is on plate. Instead of saying on card, it's an on plate auto. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. Obviously, I need to get one of those big cases, I think, to kind of just, protect it instead of it being in a book. But this is really, really fun to, see and hold one for the first time. I've never had one in hand. I've never owned a Flurry. And it's great to collect somebody like Darcy Kemper, because how many people are going to be looking for a Darcy Kemper 101 printing plate booklet auto that don't want to flip it? So I was very thankful to get it and not let it end up in the hands of a flipper for 3 times what it's probably worth. So the guy who sold it to me on Instagram was very, very, very nice and gave me a great deal on it. So that's really what I'm excited about for sure. Especially, those kind of cases are great if you can always put stuff in there that are traders and stuff, like if you go to a show, as opposed to just putting all your high end in there. But for now, it's just got the goods, as we call it. But yeah, so I know you had kind of given me some motivation to try it out, so I appreciate that. I think it
I think it's another way to store, right? That's different but easy to. It makes the cards a little portable for you, like you said. But I think the downside to those is a little more cumbersome to pull out and look through your cards versus like a binder or something else. So there's always a trade-off, but I do like having them because they do feel very safe and it is easy to travel with them.
Yep. And I joked that if there was a big fire and I just opened the window and I could just chuck that sucker out the window and everything would be fine when it landed. So yeah, there's that advantage. A couple comments we got here. Bernard's really excited for Tableau. Yep. I'm really excited for you to see what's in there. I can't say anything else though. Yep, looking forward to it. Great, happy to hear that, Curtis. The Skybox for Photographer's Proof. You mean the Stadium Club? You're right, Stadium Club Photographer's Proof. Yes. They've been doing it to where there's the Photographer's Proof, the
members only.
And then there's one other one in there that was short printed. That's unnumbered. I think there was 3.
Those are the 2 that I was looking for, because the Photographer's Proof had like one flat foil design, and the members only had like a hollow foil stamp that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool for sure. Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, it's too bad obviously doing this on a Wednesday is tough because we don't have nearly as many live viewers. This is
Yeah.
partly nice because we want to get some feedback from people, but at least we'll be able to share some information that people who listen to this after the fact can go at First ASU. Thank
There it
you,
is.
sir.
Thank you. It was killing me. I was like, there is another one.
James probably just turned to his right and looked at the shelves like, oh, yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I right? His display is unbelievable. Hey, congrats again, James, for your feature on Tops on their YouTube page. That was so sick. If you guys haven't checked it out, as a Mariners fan, I'm selfishly throwing it out there to go check out James's video on YouTube. It's super cool. But let's jump into our main topic, Ben. I'm going to throw it to you here. We really wanted to get some ideas from the audience. We wanted to announce a few things that we're going to be doing with our social media pages. So I'll kick it off and throw it to you, man. Go for it.
Yeah. So, we started last year just trying to get through the year, make sure we did the podcast on time, kind of just starting the community, and for ourselves kind of figuring out what we wanted the podcast to be and the platform to be. We knew we wanted a website, but weren't sure exactly what to commit to there or what the time commitment would be, how we wanted to run it.
Yes.
But now that we've made it through the year and kind of understand our time and what might be possible and what would be a stretch goal for us, we kind of wanted to revamp our goals for like what we want to do with you guys, the community, what we're delivering in terms of content, not just on the podcast, but on, Instagram, which some of you have probably seen. We had the namespace. We didn't really use it last year, but we started to kick off doing some posts this year, and we'll be trying to engage with you guys through there instead of just here live, so that we have another way to kind of communicate, get ideas, listen to y'all for feedback, and another space. And then really we're looking for what else do you guys want to see from us, like really soliciting feedback from you. We'll share a couple of things that we came up with together that we're going to commit to. Like, these are things we would like to do throughout the year that we've thought of, and then kind of pitch to you guys. What are we missing? What do you think would be cool? What would be fun for you to interact with? More than anything, like what gets a community going, and we can have fun talking cards together in a way that's not just on the podcast here.
Absolutely. The emphasis is on community. When you and I met last weekend and we discussed what our goals were for this, the best feeling that I think I get, and I'll let you speak to it as well, is when we've got some real good back and forth going on here and we're sharing things about our collection with the people in the chat, and then we interact with them on Instagram or Facebook. It feels really good to have like-minded collectors interacting with one another and building up that community, I think that's really the emphasis of what we're going for. Is that kind of how it is for you as well going into this?
Yeah, totally. Like community aspect. And I kind of the hope is that bleeds into the live shows here, where it's almost like we are hosts, but moderators of like the discussion we want to have. We'll post. Sure. Matt does a good job of saying like, here's kind of the topic we're going to be talking about in our stories that I'll also then post as a post on the Instagram, so you guys can see it if you missed the story.
Yeah.
But that way we're all kind of coming to the table together when we join this. We get however many people are in, if it's 5, 20, 100, whatever, we're just chatting about that topic, and we'll kind of present some ideas, some topics. Maybe we're doing a blog post about it as well on the website. But just something so we can all discuss and kind of get ideas from each other, or figure out like, how do we feel about this? What do you think would make this X thing like more fun for us as a group or for you as a collector? I'm doing this, but I'm thinking I'm struggling with it. What do you guys think? Kind of thing.
For sure. And I love how you're kind of talking about like, this is kind of where the culmination of everything that's kind of being discussed out in social media land. Like, there's a purpose for everything that's kind of showing up on Instagram, showing up on the website, showing up on other stuff. I don't want to give everything else away until we say it, but I think all the ideas we have are really going to lead to a community of collectors who have similar mindsets of just enjoying the hobby. I think everybody that's in the chat today, that's in your, James, Curtis, Bernard, and Ray, I think they all share in that like-minded aspect of we collect these cards because we love them. We love the players that they connect us to. We love the technology. We love, obviously, the people that we meet throughout the hobby. If those are your priorities, you're going to have a really good time here, regardless of the budget that you're on. Notice how you and I rarely talk about needing to spend a lot of money to have fun here, right? So I think this goes outside of, cards a little bit, to where we can, really build up a community of like-minded collectors and just find ways to have more fun with it. So with that being said, I think the coolest thing that we should, or the coolest, but one of the coolest things we came up with that we can announce is that we've created a Facebook group for the podcast, haven't we, Ben?
We have. We're still working on getting the cover and some of the details of it fleshed out, but it will be linked over to Instagram. We'll get this thing kind of fleshed out, get a couple posts in there, and start inviting you guys over. Or you can go find the group, honestly, and just put in a request. And we need to finish a request form because we're keeping it a private group for the time being. So you guys tell us what you think about this, but we kind of prefer just a little bit of a buffer to keep it as a private group so we can kind of keep the same vibe that we have here, like when we're live or we're posting and talking to each other. Start with that, kind of have our core, like our OG group that you guys that have kind of been with us and kind of understand what we're going for, and can kind of foster the vibe on the groups. When people look at it, they kind of see what we're going for before they decide if they want to join.
Right.
So keep it a little bit insulated at the start. You guys join your friends that you guys know, like invite them along that you know are kind of looking for something like this. We want to have kind of the spillover thing that we do here into that group. Work over there, doing some like engagement. What are you guys thinking about this? Or let's share this kind of thing, kind of foster the same conversations we're having here, but more like what you would call asynchronous, right? Because sometimes we all can't be here live, but we can have those same conversations in the group and feel like it's the same people bouncing off the same kind of energy. You know,
right? No, I mean, all great points, Ben. I mean, I was really happy when you came up with this idea. Well, I guess when we came up with this idea, because we kind of came to this conclusion, like, hey, you know, look at these factors on social media. A couple of things. You look at the '90s group. I think we can all admit and agree that when that group was in its earlier stages, you really felt a community aspect in there. I know I did. I mean, before the podcast even started, and then after we created, Greg and I started the Essential Credentials, and we had guests from that page on there, Nate, Ben, you know, a multitude of people. You felt really connected with these people. And then you go to the national and you see them, and it's like kind of a big family feel. Then COVID hit and that group ballooned 3 times as big as it was. So we really want to try to create a group where we're sharing the cards that we're talking about, and you know, eventually we'll get to a theme every week or day or however we want to do this. But people are commenting and sharing their stories, and like there's really a community aspect to it, because let's be honest, everyone, and I'm speaking in general here, but like Instagram has gone away from that feel too. As much as I love seeing your posts, Ben, and Bernard's posts, and Ray when he was on there, and James, who are some of the only people commenting on each other's posts? Us in this podcast. Like I'll talk to Bernard and he'll talk to me and you, and vice versa. That is it. It has turned into a like fest. And so we're trying to find a way to foster more of a community, and you know how the older message boards were. I mean, they really felt like you were looking out for one another and rooting for each other. And so I think this will hopefully be a platform where we can foster, you know, that kind of a mentality in those relationships. You know what I mean? I think you had some other good points on it too, what we were hoping for, right? I mean, where else do you see this going if we kind of push it in the right direction?
Well, I got a few different points, but you mean for the Facebook page, or?
Yeah, I'm just saying for the Facebook page, like beyond what I was talking about when we talked last week, it's just kind of, where would you like to see this Facebook group go in the next 6 months or so?
Yeah, I mean, a few of the things we want to see is like recurring engagement posts. Like here's a theme, like you said, themed post of the week kind of thing. Here's the question thread kind of thing, like themes that people can answer questions for you, or you can pose a question, and it's just for people to be helpful, right? Like question thread. I have this card thread. How do you deal with this kind of thing? I still have one. So one of my first posts for the help me will be, how do you store this size card? Somebody help me with this, you know, stuff that's just, I'm a collector. I want to figure out a way to store this. Do you have one of these? How do you guys deal with that size? You know, that size top box topper, you know, stuff to just foster a community and grow that. And I think through friends sharing friends, I think we'd like to see this group be like a reasonable 3-figure number some point this year.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like 100, 150 people. But I think for me, I'm going to add to that, Ben, is like when I see somebody post in the group, you want to be excited for other people and their collections. That's how it was when we grew up, and that's, I think, the vibe that we've kind of gotten away from, because so many people are focused on, look at how much this card sold for that I flipped, and those types of things. That feels like more of a personal, selfish endeavor as opposed to a community feel, like, again, like the 90s group felt. So I think I'm really looking forward to just sharing the joy of the hobby without, no pun intended, like with the community, with our friends, with other people that I'm looking, we're going to meet new people that have, a kind of a like-minded mentality. So it's going to be really, really fun to see what this can become. I think it has a lot of potential, and we would love to hear from you guys in the chat too. Like where would you like to see this group go? Is there any suggestions you have for how we can keep engagement up? Just like, Bernard was saying, he's in an Iceman group with Al. By the way, Al will probably be in this group. He's an amazing human being. There's 5 of us, and I'd love for this love of the hobby to replicate that community feel. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like the soft goal I'll say for this year for this group is, when you see a post, there should be no posts in the group that don't have any comments under it.
Yeah.
Soft goal.
Engagement.
Like, we're communicating with each other. To Ray, I did not see your tag for the Allen and Ginter, the oversized.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, you should definitely hit him up with that, Ray.
All right.
You can see Ben like wanting to look on the
other screen, because this is like one of my favorite cards that I like to display, and I've not figured out how to.
And to your point here, Ray, on this one, I think for now, and I just want to speak to this, like, it's so easy to have a group turn into that, because we're always looking for cards. I think, and Ben, feel free to jump in here after me. If people have something for sale in the group, I think it's better for, I have X, I would love to connect with somebody who collects them. And if we can, if we have, maybe we have a pinned post with like who collects what, going and seeking them out as opposed to doing a sale thread. This is more of a community of, here's what I collect, here's a cool thought I had, a cool card I found, people sharing, oh yeah, I remember when I found this card, here's my copy. That's what we're going for, right?
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that, I think one of the things we'll try to add to the about, or like one of the tabs in the group, will be like how to write up a sales post, meaning 1, look at the list of people that will draw up that are collectors of that player. 2, I think, so this is just a personal point, and you guys can tell me if you think this is a good idea or not, but if you want to share, like, I'm selling these because I'm looking to fund another purchase of X that I'm looking at, that's why I'm doing this, I want to let you know what I'm looking for, and like kind of create it as a, like, I'm not just selling to sell for money, like, I'm looking to do this for this, do you know anybody that wants one of these? Like, frame it in a way where it should be like I'm trying to get these over to somebody,
right,
so that I can get the thing that I'm looking for, and like we try to work out the deal together as a community. That makes it more fun.
For sure. And if you start with that, if you're like, oh, I'm selling some Ichiros, well, I know that Ben is really excited about collecting Ichiro. I'm going to go to him in the group. Like, here are the cards. I wanted to start and show them to the group first. I don't think we're going to be looking to add people in the group that are flippers. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you got to do that for shows. You got to do that for inventory and shops.
I've done it before as well. Totally. Like, I've done it in service of getting another card. It happened. Yep. You go, I see a good deal, I'm going to buy a couple of these and like use it to fund the card that I'm really looking for.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's one of those things that early in the 90s group, there wasn't any of that stuff. Now, somebody might say, I found this A-Rod. Does anybody collect them? And then, you get put in touch. Greg would tag me. I would tag him in a Tim Salmon thing. And then you talk off the page about the deal. And then you could post on the page like, yo, thanks, Ben, for finding this card for me. Like, that's what we're really trying to go for in this page. And we'd be happy to hear any ideas that people have. But I think if we, go the right way with this and keep it within a contained amount of people that, not to say we're going to screen everybody heavily, but
no.
Definitely not looking for the buy, sell, trade Instagram guys and gals. I don't think that's the focus of what we're after. We're looking for people who really, I know people hate this phrase, but a true collector. It did kind of, a collector that cares about cards deeply, not somebody who's excited to make money. I think that's more of what we're after. But
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, you're right. Ray just mentioned on that last comment he made. So you guys,
Yeah.
some of you out there probably know Will. We've had him on the show before. He did make
he'll
a
be
pretty
in there.
comprehensive list for
Yeah.
baseball that I have access to that list from Will. I'm going to
Mhm.
clone that and then I'll break it up because I think it's almost all baseball right now.
Right now
And
it is.
I'll
Yeah,
clone
yeah.
that list. What I'll do, and I just made a note for myself, I'll attach that list to the group here.
Great.
And then people can look at the list and comment. If you just want to make a post, we can make like a thread of add me to the list for X. And I'll
Mhm.
break it up by sport. I'll make some pages there. So that way we can just get everybody on the list and have it organized by
Yeah.
sport. So good
Perfect.
call, Ray. That gives me a good head start. And we'll get
Well,
you hockey guys on there as well.
for those who are listening, maybe you're driving in the car after the fact and you're just listening to this podcast, not able to watch it currently. If you go to Facebook, Ben, can they search Joy of the Hobby on Facebook? They'll see it's a private group, but they can request to join, correct?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
are there any questions to answer as well?
So that's what we'll be doing post show here is making sure we have
Okay.
questions to answer, just because right now you can request, and some of you guys that will request in the first week of this will know who you are. But after that, we'll make sure we get just a couple questions in there, nothing serious.
Gotcha. And Bernard, to answer your question, you should probably hit up Ben. Not that he'd be selling that card exactly, but I know Ben is looking to kind of help purge even more. And so is Ray. Ray's probably got a lot of great cards left if he's still selling. So you've got access to some wonderful people that you can maybe get your first Ichiro from. I have 3, and they all came from Ray. So Ray, thank you very much for that, my man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, the 2003 Pristine in particular is a beautiful card design. What a design.
Yeah, it is. We've been giving a lot of Topps flowers today, man. They have done some things right. You got to give them that. So
every once in a while you go, hey, you killed it on this thing.
Well, I'm looking forward to working with things. Obviously, we'll continue figuring our way through it this week, but it'd be great to get some of you in there. Those of you who are listening, go check out Joy of the Hobby. When you get there, there will be questions, and just we'll be able to tell. We'll probably know most of you through some sort of connection, right?
Right.
We're pretty connected throughout the hobby. So anyways, that's great. Well, that's really exciting news, Ben. I'm really, really excited to see, what this group can become and what kind of community we can build through that. But we're not going to stop there. We want to try to have different, channels of connection with people. The next thing we're going to talk about is something you've done a great job with, Ben. I think you've really crushed it with the Instagram page so far. I got to thank ChatGPT for making a sweet logo for us there. I finally took the dive into it. My mother would be proud because she uses it crazily every single day. But what were your thoughts behind the Instagram page, and then what are our plans for it in the future as I share it here?
Yeah, so our initial thoughts are things we at least feel like we could commit to, but I'm sure there are some of the things you guys want to see from the page in terms of creating the community. But I had a few thoughts. One, we'll have a couple of engagement posts a week. Like we'll have a question, something we're thinking about that might not be like a podcast episode, but just a question we have. Maybe another engagement question that will relate to the podcast episode, but we want to get some feedback from you guys like beforehand, or maybe you can't make it, but you have a question about said topic. We'll leave it in the Instagram. We'll talk about or mention your comment from the Instagram in the episode, whether you're there or not. Third, if we do anything on the website, which you guys have known, we kind of had that last year. Anything on the website, we'll get a repost here, so it's linked here. And then lastly, we'll make posts and our stories that we've made before that you guys have seen for upcoming episodes with the topic. But trying to just ask questions there. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you guys in the that are listening now or later, message us if you have a question or something that you're curious about in the hobby. You're like, I have a question about X way of collecting, or how would I do this in a way that would make it more fun for me? Just message our Joy of the Hobby page, and I'll turn it into a post and like throw it out there. If it's something you're curious about and we're like, hey, Matt and I think that's kind of an interesting question too, we'll throw it on the page for you and see if we can get some answers from the community. So just another way for you guys to like reach out to us, ask a question, see what questions we have and what we're curious about. Some of them will be for engagement. Some of them might just be legitimate questions I have.
I like that. I mean, you've got the Facebook page, the group, and now Instagram. You've got two different places to engage with a community of people who are like-minded collectors, and hopefully help them learn something, and you can also learn something, because you and I are certainly in this growth mindset as a collector. We're always evolving as people, but also evolving as collectors. And you never know, man. The one question could spearhead a lot of different thoughts. I mean, look at this. We got 13 likes and 34 comments. Now, like half of those are our responses to what people are saying. But I mean, we just asked people, how do you organize your collection? I mean, we've got all sorts of wonderful responses. Hopefully we can get these people in the Facebook group as well, which, I mean, you've got the usual suspects here, right? Many of which have been on episodes and watched. But I thought this was just great, because you're looking for a way to see how we all differ and how we're all the same as collectors. We all have the same passion, but we show it in so many different ways and organize it in so many different ways. And so our first one, I thought, was amazing, turned out really good. And then just today, a couple hours ago, you posted, what hobby content is missing today? What new content would you like to see in 2026? So that maybe pertains to us, but also pertains to out there in the world of hobby content, whether it's posts on Instagram, Facebook, podcast, YouTube videos, whatever. What is missing? So I'm really excited for people to see that. And to share.
That'll inform us too. Like, we're talking about what we've got here and what we're putting together for 2026. But hey, leave a comment there if there's something else you want to see. Maybe we can fold that into kind of like our little platform thing we're building here.
For sure.
You guys can be involved in. And really, the commitment, I think, that the soft commitment that Matt and I are making with especially these sort of engagement posts is like, we will read every comment, and like we will try to respond to you. If you leave a comment, we'll communicate back with you. Like, we're not just going to make the post and then poof, it's just kind of like out there.
No,
we actually will do our best to like practice what we're preaching here, and that like you leave a comment or ask a question, we'll respond. Like, I'm going to be watching the notifications and doing my best to like respond to everybody that leaves a comment. So
no, I like that. I think that's just kind of taking it, making it a priority is how I'm trying to phrase this. I've always found that it's important to show people that you're listening and show people that you care about their point of view. And just like, look what Ray said here, right? You can always learn from others no matter how long you've been in this, how long you've been collecting. Like, you never know when you're going to find a new idea, something that makes the light bulb go off. And you're like, okay, hold on. I never thought about it this way. And sometimes you can be, hesitant toward the idea for many years, and then finally, change your ways. And I think that's always a good thing. We all do things our own way, but I think there's something to be said about, like, think about where you've gotten to with your collection now, Ben. Like, think about what this podcast has done to kind of change the way that you think about collecting. It's crazy to think, honestly. It's happened in so little time.
I do have to say, doing the podcast, like meeting some of the people partially through you and just doing the show and having people reach out to me and having conversations with people like Ray and kind of reframing the way I wanted to collect to make it more fun for me.
Right.
I enjoy my collection so much more now because of this show and like the people that we've worked with and gotten ideas from. That, like, it is night and day from where I was and probably the trajectory I would have been on had I not done the show. Like, I look back now and like it really informed and changed the way. And I started collecting when I was like 7, minus the gap and time off, but like very invested in it, had kind of my way of doing it. And like hearing other people's ideas on how to make it more fun and forcing myself to change has made it like so much better. So excellent point, Ray. Totally agree.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, Ray, really glad to have you be a part of this. I mean, regardless of the fact if you're collecting actively or not, you've got so many years of experience, as does everyone in the chat, to draw from, and I think that's what's going to make the community so much fun too. Really glad that you made it, by the way. I believe Jackson, if I have the name right, is here. He lives in a different, part of the world, and so it's usually morning time when he's here watching with us. So we're really happy to have you here. And then, of course, Ray said that he tagged you here. So
yeah, thanks for having me.
We've got Instagram ready to roll. and we've got our Facebook group that we just rolled out, and we're going to be working after the show to get those questions put together. Ben will hopefully make me an admin along with him, unless he doesn't trust me with that kind of power, and I wouldn't blame him.
You have to prove yourself.
But so those are two great avenues that we've got to connect with people beyond the podcast, right? Because again, if you can't make it live, it's really hard to kind of get this back and forth going with us, even if we're doing it on our usual time. So far after those two, I feel pretty good about what we're doing here. But we have one other option, I think, that is kind of the biggest question mark, and that would be our website, right? That we started last year, but now that we're talking through all these different things that we're doing, I think we need to find an identity for it, or do we even need it? Because I have some ideas, but I'm curious to hear what other people think about it. So let me bring it up here.
It needs a redesign first, which we'll do, but I'm very curious to hear from you guys. Do you visit other websites in the community that, like, in collecting, that aren't just like checklists or what? Like, are you guys looking at other blogs for stuff? Or are you just using like forums? Like, is there a space for a website anymore for like long form posts? Do you guys interact with that stuff? Because it takes a little more time to write those. You got to get your pictures up. You got to kind of develop the idea for the post and write those out. Do you guys have because we have the name, we have the the domain, we have the spot, and we can build within here. Is there something you guys think we should do in there you'd like to see that's more long form content that wouldn't fit on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram?
I mean, I think that's a great question, because nowadays, more than ever, Ben, you and I are probably pretty unique. I'd be really curious to see how many viewers are on a desktop of some kind, or a laptop with screens where you can navigate with a lot of space. Because then a website is so much more amazing to look at. If I'm looking at my website on my phone, to go find a specific Flurry card to show somebody at work, I'm like scrolling through to the bottom, and on my website it takes me like 5 seconds, because you get 4 rows and all this stuff. It is a really interesting question that you pose, because who is taking the time to go to the website? There's already going to be a Facebook page, there's already going to be an Instagram page, we've got YouTube, so it's 3 different places or apps that people would need to access. So to go to your web browser and go here, what kind of a reason can we give people, the community, to go here as opposed to anywhere else? So that's what we're really curious about. Like, what should we do with this?
And so I'll post it to you guys too. I see some answers coming in, but so I'll give you guys one of my thoughts was, does this become more of a community website? Would you guys be interested in like our collectors tab up there, posting about yourself, what you collect, and that becomes like a database of people in our community where people can go look and search and go, oh, there's the Flurry guy. Oh, there's the, X player guy. Oh, there's his like write up about his collection and what he likes to collect. Like, would you be interested in putting in that effort to do that? And would you want to do guest blogs? Like, if you have an interest in writing that content, then that is enough of a reason to kind of maintain the website and have it be not just us, but you guys also doing it.
Great point, Ben. I really like your idea about, and I kind of envisioned it this way. I am a big fan of having a digital library of what I own. Now, to get everything onto that would take, probably with all the work and everything else I got going on in my life, probably take a year of dedication to get every card that I own digitally scanned and then organized within its own collection. Could it be done? Yes. And would I love to be able to pull that up and see every card I own? Yes, of course. I think we all would. Some of us have some pretty extensive collections. Now, Ray, shout out to Ray, has a website and had everything organized by year and by set alphabetically. And it is something to behold when it's all up there, because
it's beautiful. Yeah,
it is. And so I kind of envisioned, whether people have their own website or not, I thought it would be great if people have their own collecting page, and within that, maybe you could choose what cards you wanted to display, or you want to have your whole collection up there, whether it's pictures from your phone like Ben likes to do, or you have a scanner on your desk like I do, and you're able to kind of share with the community your collection, and I think for me, that would be a really fun thing to see a multitude of people have their collections. Like for Ray, we could just link them to his website, like the collector's bio. If it was Ray, for instance, you'd have a little about Ray, like a history of his collecting, and then a link to his website, and you could go look at that beautiful Ichiro collection. So I think there's something to be said for that. We've got some interesting comments about the blog.
Yeah, I'll go through some of these because this is it's interesting.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll throw these to you, Ben. So the first one, but Bernard had some interesting thoughts here.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's new, but any content centered around the art of the deal between two collectors when one is not quite ready to move a card is fascinating to me. Yeah, that's very interesting. I've done a couple of those where you got to kind of like get to know the person. You let them know that you're really going to take care of this card. You care about it just as much as they do. That's a whole topic that, yeah, we could do a whole blog post and episode on.
I mean, just to throw this out here, you and Ray could have a great duo blog post where you guys are kind of going back and forth through the big first deal you made, like what it was like to meet one another. You establish the rapport, you come to a price. And I'm sure Ray could talk about like, well, of course I'm going to give Ben a better deal because I know he's going to love these cards more than this person at a shop who's going to flip them for double the amount, So I think that right there is a great idea. Just side thing, Ben, did you know that he still had 90% of his Ichiros?
I did not know that. We'll have to talk, Ray. I've slowed down on the amount that I'm trying to get of Ichiro, but there are some very specific ones that there are gaps. I'll just say there are gaps.
There's one that I can name right now, but I will not.
Very big gap.
And then next up, Bernard also shared this.
That's nice to hear, Bernard. Yeah, and I think there's still room for it, but I think the goal of trying to spread it so we have more people that we know them personally as collectors and they want to do a post about something they're passionate about, and it becomes more of a community blog with us kind of moderating it and doing our own posts as well. Adds a little more content in there that I think could be interesting for the community in a different way than just a short Instagram post.
I like it. I agree. And then this is interesting.
This is the one that I saw. Tanner, Tan Man baseball fan.
Yeah, so he has like a podcast where he just talks. I know that.
Well, yeah, the podcast he just talks and walks. Then his YouTube has kind of become just showing off his custom cards since that's like his full business now.
Yep.
And I think he still runs the blog on there. I haven't read it in a while. I did read it when I first came across Tanner in like 2018-ish.
Okay.
I would read most of his posts, but I'm another person that there was a period where I was reading a lot of posts, getting back into the hobby, trying to figure out the space. And then I think I will say for all of that, Tanner was pretty good about posting stuff about his personal collection, his journey and things he was finding, but it was not exactly community based, which is fine. He's archiving his journey. That's what most blogs are.
Personal blog. Yeah. But I think it's like his book. It's kind of infectious, right? Like you're like, oh man, like I want to know what this feeling is like. And so I think he's established that very, very well. But like talking about what it's like to design your own cards, that right there. I mean, I would read that or listen to that on a monthly, weekly basis, whatever he's doing. I think that would be great. Really great idea from Jackson. I'll let you handle that one as well.
Yeah, I love the idea of the website primarily being a place for collaboration blog posts. I love creating long-form content and wish more collectors offered it. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're circling the drain on with the website, is it becomes more like that long form, let's collab, have people come in and write posts about something that's like a specific topic they've been maybe chewing on for a week or so, and they want to write about their discovery research with it, what they gained from it, why it maybe wasn't the right direction, like that kind of thing. I think this is a better format for that than an Instagram, right? It's so hard to do a long Instagram post. I see them even on a single card. God bless some of the Griffey guys that I absolutely love, like Marco and stuff, but they can write a book under a card, and it's not technically the format for it for me. Like, I do appreciate it, but
not anymore. I think it kind of used to be when it was new, but that's what Facebook used to be. It went from Facebook to Instagram. Now both are kind of going away from that. So I think if you were to look at tiering these pages, Instagram is like, for us, it's going to be question based, get your brain kind of moving a little bit. You're not really posting any images. You're just kind of talking about things.
We're just threading. Yep.
Facebook is like, hey, look at this great card that came in, or I've been after this for 5 years and I added this card, or hey guys, I have this card. I'm really not. I just found it in my collection. I'm curious what you think. Like, how should I store this? Like those kind of things, real kind of 2, 3, 4 sentence responses, and then you've got the website that's going to be long form, where you can really kind of flesh out some ideas that obviously can go verbally with podcasts, but then if you want to just sit down and read about a collector's thoughts, I think the website, that part of it would be great for the blog. I think that's what we originally kind of were hoping for, but you want to kind of get it on track specifically,
and
right?
Matt brought up a good point that like at least for me, the Instagram, we will not be posting cards that we're getting in or anything cards, like pictures of cards on the Instagram, but I definitely will be, and I have one coming in that Matt knows about. I will be posting directly to the Facebook group. So you'll see posts of cards and like why I'm stoked on this card. But
dude, I'm so pumped for you.
Yeah, the Instagram will be totally for us to just like thread and talk as a group.
Right. Okay, so I think we were leaning towards this, but we also had a little bit of like, do people actually want this? Obviously, we've got 4 or 5 of our viewers that are consistently here, which can hopefully speak for those who watch this after the fact. I will throw this out here. Like, if you have any ideas or thoughts about what this could be, or you want to be involved or anything like that, please reach out either on the Facebook group, directly to Ben or myself, or the Instagram page. You can reach out on there. Both of us have access.
Our email as well. We always, our email's through the website as well. Same, joythehobby@gmail. So if you want to write an email, do an email. We'll keep
3 ways to get a hold of us. Which leads us to this question by Ray, because it's a valid question. Scammers/trolls, because I did a little experiment with a troll the other day, and the trolls came out from under the bridge, and it was hilarious. Like, it was good stuff. It was very entertaining, but I think that's scammers. So, Ben, you've got, you know exactly. Yeah, go for it, dude.
Yeah. So my thought on this is, one, the Facebook group, the Instagram is public, so anybody can get in there. So that's going to be tough. That's the outer ring. The slightly more inner ring is going to be the Facebook group. We'll be moderating that and adminning that and making sure we kind of keep the vibe of that group, as in line with our goals that we're proposing as we can. And then really the website and doing the blog and posting like you as a collector on the blog is like the inner sanctum. That's going to be, we know you guys, you've been on episodes, we've chatted, we've done deals together, whatever. We actually know you as people. That's like, and if you want to do a post or whatever, you just reach out to us. I mean, honestly, some of you just text us at this point,
Yeah, no joke.
and we'll figure out getting you access to be able to write a blog post, or you just write one email to us and we'll post it. But I kind of see it as like kind of 3 concentric rings. And yeah, you're right, Ray. We'll have to think about the Instagram one, because that's the one that's most vulnerable to troll attacks. So if you guys have thoughts on how to prevent that or measures we take, you want to be positive and think, well, if we just create a vibe and people flip through the post and see like what we're trying to do, they'll just kind of stay off, because there's no pictures of cards and we're trying to post and scam and sell or anything. Like, it might be kind of hard to scam unless you go into a thread like, oh, I'm thinking about this, and we're me and a few folks, or Matt and a few folks, are mulling over a card, and someone tries to scam in a thread and say, I've got it, DM me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch each other's backs too. That's part of being in the community. You go, someone reaches out to Bernard and sends him a DM. We go, hey, Bernard, look, I don't know, maybe pass on that guy.
Right.
It's part of the community here, is like kind of having to watch out for that stuff together.
For sure. I think on Instagram it's easy to manage it because you can just block,
And we'll be doing some of that too. I don't want to have to, but yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, it does. But like just today on my Kemp's PC, my side hustle, quote unquote, Instagram, I've got my whole collection basically posted that I've collected of Kemper so far, nearly. And I got one of those share with me like things in the comments, and I was like, all right, get out of here. So hit the 3 dots, hit the block, and forget about it. So that one's a little easier to manage. But the Facebook group, I think it's going to be very important to me, and I know to you too, Ben, that the people that are in there are safe to interact with, and vice versa. Like somebody that knows Luke might come in we know Luke or Ray or Bernard's not going to invite somebody in who's a toxic person. And if they are, then that's where you got to have that discussion and be like, hey, either this is how these are the, not the rules, but like, this is a vibe we're going for. And if you step outside of that bound, then that's going to ruin things for everybody. So yeah, I'm giving off teacher vibes now.
Yeah. And it's definitely, again, Matt and I would be admins of the group, but it's got to be a community thing. Like, we're not going to be, we both work full time, and a lot of you guys do too. So it's like, we're just going to kind of be trusting some of y'all that we know to like, hey, this post is kind of weird, and just like ping us, let us know if you see something odd. Like, we're trying to like, again, it's fostering the community. It's not like we top down dictate what it's going to be and throw the hammer down. It's like, you guys are going to be a part of it too. Like, what you want out of it is kind of, I think we're all as a group like kind of on the same page. Like, it's a work together, build it, make it fun, build it and they will come kind of thing.
For sure. And I will say to this point, Ben, the red flags, because this is not like a sales group specifically or at all, to be honest, maybe a little bit, I think that's going to eliminate a lot of that nonsense. And that way, when the red flags will be so easy to see in a group that's managed the way we're going to do it, that any and all of us will be like, whoa, that guy, like, I don't know how he snuck in, but I think it'll be important for us to come up with questions. Like in the Marc-Andre Fleury group, I have 3 pretty specific questions. And I don't get 3 specific answers, if you're not going to get in. Obviously, that group hasn't been very active. It's very hard to foster a community of people who are just collecting one player. Right. But even with that, I'm very careful. And so I think it's going to be pretty easy to manage. By the way, nice to see Luke here. I'm glad you were able to make it. I know it's not the typical time, so we're very happy to have you here. Luke, to go back, Ben graciously got it going. We created a Facebook page called Joy of the Hobby. We'd love to have you in there. The Instagram page, obviously, we're doing some response type of questions on the regular on that page. So currently we're talking about, what we want to do with the website. And I think, Ben, what do you think? We think we've got some good starting points so far?
Yeah, I made a couple notes here, and I think we're going to try to push the community aspect. We want you guys, I mean, specifically those of you in here, like Jackson, Bernard, some of you guys that said like you like long form and want to be involved in long form, like ping us. If you got something you're already mulling over or thinking about, we'll start putting together some blog posts with you guys and getting those out there. And and then I think the next step is working on the collectors page. So Matt and I think we'll make a commitment to carve out time to kind of get ours out there, maybe a template for just what like the collectors look like. And then sort of get some of you guys on there and figure out what we want to build, because that's almost like a database of us as a community, like the people that are the tighter knit group that want to be in here and kind of like help build this thing, together.
For sure. No, I'm really looking forward to that. And we've started just adding a couple of things. We've got a quick little bio. I updated my host page. I don't know who this guy to the right is, but they asked me to take a picture with him, so I figured I would go ahead and oblige.
That's some regular height guy with great teeth.
Yeah, I mean, he might have played hockey once or twice, but I'm not sure. He was really nice, so he must be somebody. But so we're just trying to do a little bit more with the website, but it's going to kind of evolve with the community along with all the other things we've talked about. So I'll leave it at that for now as far as the sharing goes. But I think we've done a good job of going through all the different things we want to explore and work on this year within this podcast, and I've loved all the feedback that we've got. If there's any other thoughts that you have for the website, the Instagram page, the Facebook page, feel free to throw them in the chat real quick, or message us in a variety of ways, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or the email. We'll be keeping an eye on all those things, and it keeps us motivated when you guys are excited. I got to throw that out there, right, Ben?
Yeah, I love seeing some comments and being able to respond and like engage with you guys. Another place to leave it for specifically like 2026 content is the Instagram post that I made earlier today, kind of along the same lines. What do you want to see in 2026? frame that as anywhere in the hobby or specifically from us, leave a comment in there. We'll respond. We'll see it. And then
Yep.
other people will see it too. If you want to post in there, we can talk shop and some ideas in that thread.
Yeah, sounds great, man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can, build this community, but I think also build upon, um, like I guess build upon this mentality of the hobby being a fun and joyous place to be. And not
Mhm.
that it isn't already for everybody that's here. That's probably why they're here. But I know for a fact we've had new viewers come in here who said, "Hey, I saw the podcast on YouTube and it just spoke to me about how you guys talk about collecting." So I think it's our goal ultimately to bring in some new people, not just to watch this, but more to have that mentality change, saying, "Oh, cards aren't just about value,
Mhm.
like in terms of dollars. There's a lot more personal value that they should have to you as a collector than anything else. But also, what is that? How is that helping you foster the relationships with other collectors? Because that's where it all ends and
Mhm.
begins for me. Without those things, if you were to get rid of everybody I know on the hobby and say somehow snap your fingers, none of us know each other, man, this would be a lonely place, wouldn't it?
Right. Yep. Do it all solo. Yeah.
Ugh,
Too
which we've
difficult.
all done at some
Oh,
point.
for sure. We've all done that in the silo, and it's tough to not have burnout or feel like it's not as fun.
Yeah, no, for sure, man, for sure. Well, hey, I'm really excited about what's coming. Again, thank you for everybody, especially Ben. We're very thankful that you're safe over there and that you made
Yeah.
it today. I'm glad we were able to still do an episode. Ben, am I correct in that not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday is the Super Bowl? So that could be a very interesting dynamic to face, whether we should go on Saturday and have two straight episodes on different days. But we're going to have to
I don't know.
figure
Maybe
that
people will
out.
be around. Yeah. You'll have to let us know. Would you guys still watch during the Super Bowl or
I don't know if I haven't been invited anywhere. I don't know if you have been, but
yeah,
we'll,
if you're not
we'll
going to
figure
a
it
Super Bowl
out.
party, maybe you just have the Super Bowl on in the background and you're watching us and the Super Bowl's the
I
background
have the
noise.
lowest number of live viewers in the history of this podcast, even before we started it. So I do want to give one tiny little update, and I want to give Greg and Alan a shout out here. We floated the idea to rename the YouTube channel to Joy of the Hobby, but I have to agree. And Ben, I apologize for not sharing a lot of these things because you obviously were dealing with the weather stuff. Both of them basically said, "Hey, look, think about the fact that it all got built from the Essential Credentials. Everything on the channel minus this was built from that."
Yeah.
And I want to respect their wishes that it stay named the Essential Credentials, and this is a part of that. If we get this podcast on Spotify and Apple Music and wherever else, it'll be its own thing. But being sponsored by the Essential Credentials, I think their idea still is that if we have other people we collaborate with and they want to put their own content on the channel to like reach more people, then it can be under the umbrella of the Essential Credentials. So for now, at least, we're going to continue rolling with that,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of sticks to what we created many years ago. And we'll
Mhm.
see how it evolves, but yeah, that's where we're at for now. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to give everybody that little tiny
We'll
update
stay
there.
we'll stay in Essential Credentials production as this platform grows. Maybe some of you guys bubble up to want to make your own content under that umbrella. So
Yeah, that would be cool. For sure. All right. Well, Ben, any closing thoughts before we wave goodbye to our wonderful viewers and everybody that's listening after the fact?
yeah, thank you guys for contributing all your ideas. I appreciate that you guys were here, and we're basically talking shop, but we want to get you guys excited about kind of our mindset, what we want to do this year, and what you can expect from us in the future. So less of a card episode and more of a let's talk shop and get you guys involved in the process and like what we're thinking. But yeah, looking forward to responding to all your comments and messages and everything that I hope we get this week so we can get this ball really rolling in the direction we're thinking here.
For sure. And just a reminder with the Facebook group, we will be working on that after the show here. I'll
Yep.
have a post up tonight, and I look forward to seeing some of you in there and hopefully meeting some new folks as well along the way. So
Yeah, absolutely.
from everyone here at the Joy of the Hobby and Essential Credentials, we wish you all a great rest of your week, and we will keep you updated when the next episode will